Here we go. Coming in. What are you guys doing? Yeah, I haven't had a chance to check on anything today. I'm not even sure what the weather's going to be for tomorrow. Let me take a peek. All right, open up my forecaster. Let's see. It got nice today. It stayed nice, really windy. I had to close the back door because it was just blowing. The trees are dropping all of this crap and everything. It was a good thing it rained because it's really dusty and the wind was really high and it blew a lot of junk in here. If I just swept, so I'm going to do that tomorrow. I'm going to sweep again tomorrow. But I can't imagine that pine tree that I have. It used to be majestic. It's all beat up and breaks. Anyway, you guys ever see what pine trees when they pollinate, right? When the wind really blows, you ever see like a shot away from them? It's like a shit storm of green. It's just a green fog and haze. It blankets everything. I got a lot of crap in here, so tomorrow that's one of the things I want to do. I want to clean out in here. Been working on the lawn a little bit today out in the front, getting it cut, getting the trimming done. I got hedges to do, but I'm not doing that tomorrow. I got some weed whacking to do. I got to get that cool old blade edger running. But I had the still out, which still works. A good old still line trimmer. I don't remember what model it is. So tomorrow it's going to be 67, partly cloudy. And Monday it's going to be 71 degrees and just blaring sun. Tuesday a little warmer, 76. Wednesday 78. Thursday 82, all sun. Wow. I better get some stuff done. Thursday 82. Friday a little bit of cloud drops to 78. Saturday 77, Sunday 80, Monday 76 and partly cloudy. So I got a nice week coming because we had a lot of rain. How about you fellas? You guys get a lot of rain? Let me kill. Which one do I want to kill? I want to kill. No, hold on, wait. I want to kill that mic so I don't have that duping going on. So I wanted to show you guys. Got the old Big Mike was here. Big shout out to Big Mike. We're going to take a look at that in a bit. He went out and picked up this really cool old lathe, so we're going to take a look at that in a little bit. I wanted to show you guys this thing too. This is something that I'm going to be starting on this week, like Monday. So I think this is pretty cool. So what if I leave that mic on instead of the other mic? Yeah, I might do that. That way I can just go back and forth. We'll see when I come back to the cameras. This thing's nice. I mentioned it before that the fella, he just bought a house and he's really busy and his wife's got him set with projects and, he's really into all these projects he's got to do. And he borrowed a tiller from his buddy and I'm assuming the rest of the tiller looks like this. And he said it doesn't run right anymore. He used it, ran great, and then it just stopped running well. So he took the engine off and he was going to do it like in his apartment. And it kind of sat around and now he's, working on the house and then moving in and they're doing a lot of stuff. He's like, I'm not going to be able to get to it. So that's why it's here. Now it's been sitting for a few weeks. He's been getting bumped by everyone else. Bring it out on the bench outside Monday morning. Put the camera on, lock it down to the bench that's out there. We'll get it running, see what it does, what it doesn't do. Look how beautiful it is. He says everything the guy has, is like this. So he wants to put it back on the tiller body and give it back to him running properly. And I think that is quite admirable. Let's see, now when I come back to here. So what if I shut this off and just leave the aux mic on? Yeah, I think that's better. So I'm really looking forward to doing that. And I think it's going to be a fun project, for YouTube and just for myself, Yeah, Robert, I just killed that other mic. So what have you guys been working on? So Illinois is in the house. Anybody getting anything good done? I figure I'm going to get into the lathe thing. Probably most people won't want to watch that, but at some point I'm going to put that on the channel. I'm going to go through this whole lathe and get it all tightened up. And Mike went all the way up to like Mamaroneck, New York, which is, I don't know, it's like an hour or so away. something like that. When he's into one of them moods, brought his son with him, and they took it apart. It was, for the most part, it was apart. Pretty cool. The guy that owned it was a surgeon. He was like a spine surgeon. Let's see, that early 90s model Briggs and Stratton engine. Yeah, I like those carburetors, but they're such a pain in the neck to work on. Because you got to take the whole assembly out and then remove it from the tank. I don't know, judging by the way it looks, I mean, you wouldn't think that unless crap got in the gas, but there is that little screen on the bottom of the pickup tube. You would think that would have grabbed whatever dirt. Maybe it's just the gaskets are old and the diaphragm is old. I want to, like I said, I want to get it running. We'll get it warmed up and take a peek in the tank. Then I'll suck all the, the gas out of the tank and examine that. And then we'll do a compression and spark check, on it. And I would just focus on the carburetor on that thing. But I'll know after the compression test, run it, get it warm, and then do the compression test while it's warm, which is pretty rare for me because I don't generally get the opportunity to do that. Usually every machine that I get is not running. It's been abused. There's junk in the combustion chamber, water in the oil. There's a mouse nest or something else jamming up the works. I mean, it's usually just a wreck. And once I get done with it and it's running, if it passes compression and spark and it doesn't make any weird noises when I'm spinning it over with the drill, and I go through everything and I drop it down, maybe I have to tune the carburetor or something. Not always the case, but happens if I'm not replacing the carburetor with some aftermarket piece of junk. I generally don't, if it runs good, I'm not going to compression test it again. I want to get it out of here. It's get paid. There's already enough time that I put into these damn things. I like the early 90s models. When I love the 70s stuff, but it's just too old. It's great for projects, but it's not really good for making a buck on. When you get into the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, up to about 2011, I just love that. Like this one here. So contractor Mike's driving me nuts. He was breaking everything. His guys would break, and then he tries to fix it, and he can't because he doesn't understand, how a carburetor goes on. He leaves out gaskets, and he gets linkages crossed, and he buys these cheap, crappy aftermarket carburetors. There's going to be a lot of videos coming out from me at some point in the future, on all of these issues with these aftermarket carburetors and how to deal with them and how to tune them if you really want to use one for some reason or you have no choice. Pulsajet, yeah, those are good. Pulsajet, I like those. They work good. They're just a pain in the ass to take apart because of the tank and brackets. But the nice thing is, though, it's not on the machine, so there's not going to be any of that in my way. Yeah, this is the one that I like. Let's see, let's come back. Let me come back. Let me bring you on here. Now, I should be able to switch, and the mic will stay on. Yeah, the mic is staying on. I don't have to readjust it. Should be okay. No echo. So also was working on the stander. And I'll just run a little bit of footage on that. This is the right stander. These are really, really nice machines. Electrical issue, a few other things. Let's see. We'll just roll some indiscriminate footage real quick before I get to the next thing. Just going to kind of pulse through it. There we go. Let me turn that down a little. Hold on. All right, she blows a little smoke when you start it. That's not too bad. Let's see if it'll go backwards. Yeah, she's going pretty good. No blade. I had to mess around with that. Had a bad relay. Let's see, we'll just pick another one. Nice machine, though. Great. Test. 3240. That's not bad.
That's good.
I just had a few things wrong with it. It's got a leak in this left pump. Let's see. So I got the lock bent back a little. We needed to bend, get a new filter, and I'm going to check his reservoir. So I'm not going to tell him, come back. That one. It's changing things out, so that mess could be. I was cautioning him on these issues. This is what the plugs look like. Two different plugs too. Also, they're mismatched. I'm just texting them now. One is a Champion RCJ6Y, and the other is NGK. Oh, it respelled it for me. BPMR6A. Let me retext him. He hasn't owned it for very long. Yeah, let's back up. And then we had all of these issues. Oh my God. Oh my God. Just all of these things are just driving me nuts all week. This is a turf master that I've been working on for him. Here's the setup. He had the carburetor installed wrong and left out a gasket. Steady. Well, let's throw the cables. Okay, so that's your choke. I eat my pizza while I'm narrating. And I did is I bent this rod a little bit. Right, it's got an angle to it, so I measured the jets. To bend it. And then let's see. It's in pretty good shape. I got it running good for him. Got everything adjusted. Cables weren't right. Put a different tank on it. I had a different tank on it that I made because the tank that was there, that's the original tank from another machine. It's a Cowie tank. The inside deteriorated. And it puked black plastic powder into the carburetor. This is a little while ago. So I had made a different tank for it. I have a picture of the tank that I made. It's too tall. And they bang into everything. They just break everything. Here's the parts machine. I took the carburetor from it. I didn't use the carburetor he put on. It was some Chinese. I measured it. It was okay. It'll work. But I put this carb and this tank on. I took the tank off already. I grabbed a few parts off of this thing. This Cowie motor that's on there is not bad. It might even be better than the one that's on the machine. But right now it's questionable. I defiled his deck. Done. Next. Next is the carbs. So this is the factory. What we're going to do is we're going to clean this off and open them both up, and then we need to measure the jets. So I need to see what the original did that. Jet was. Oh, like 026 or something like that, 028. Look at what they came out to be. Cleaned up the original jet. You might be able to see. And I measured both of them. I'm trying to blow it out with the gum out. There's good junk in it. Yeah. He put the new carburetor on and somehow managed to get junk in the new carburetor. Grab it. Because he's working on in the lawn and he's not careful. You know, you got to learn. Turn a little light on. The unfortunate thing is he's trying to learn on the machine. See that junk? Right in the jet it was. Oh boy. Unfortunately, he's trying to learn on machines that he's using for work. So Big Mike's machine is done. The Scots is done. All right, let's just set up the camera. That came out nice. It's John Deere, really, of that era. It was falling like all the way down. Yeah, his linkages, his control linkages for the transmission are shot. Because he didn't clean it. He didn't keep it clean. Shame on you, Mike. We'll fix it. All right, it works good. So it might smoke a little bit. I noticed that. Might even want to go with a thicker oil, even thicker than, because I didn't add a lot of the oil, the diesel oil in. So let's see what it does. Cold start. Oh, a lot of tuning on this. A lot of work on this thing. It's a nice machine. I like the Scott's cowling. Let me turn it down a little. Yeah, see that he had like no reverse. See, I gotta like mash it. There's so much play. I made a little bit of an adjustment, but he says he doesn't really need reverse. The way his property is. So if you ride the lever on the right, it overrides the foot pedal, which is nice because the Cub Cadet that I have does not have that feature, which makes it horrible. And you could go a lot faster, but we'll make another adjustment on when I get the parts for it. Well, I can actually make them if I want in the future. Let's see.
It goes good in reverse. So
Yeah, it'll get better someday. There it is there. Look at how out his wheels were.
right. This is why it helps to be able to have a work surface that. See these lines here? This is all square. So we got a level there. You see it's kicked this way a little. Alright, steering wheel straight. And look at this guy. Yeah. It's just a little off. I hope you can see that. Alright.
No,
What the hell that sounds? Somebody's running saw back.
No, it's the solar powered fountain.
Pull this back off.
Those are nice Heim joints.
Jack this thing up and down. I got to put a wrench
On the
underneath
steering.
here, and I got to use my air rocker.
Yeah,
to get-
yeah, forget it. You don't know what you're saying. All right, let me come back up to here. I showed you guys that last week. This is the one that I finished for Chrissy.
Oh, I just gave it a quick wipe down.
Like early
She's
2000s.
pretty.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
Oh yeah. Just a quick wipe down with a little WD. Normally I use other products, but it wasn't bad. So, and this is not like a sales mower. Just a quick, tune up and repair. Yeah. Let's give it another start.
Yeah, well, let's give it a quick start. Where is that? Did I put it on here? I don't know. I don't think I did, but look how pretty it is. What a nice machine. That'll be on the channel soon. You know, basically it's a tune-up. Let's see what else I have here. Yeah, this is what it looked like. Wasn't bad. She kept it in good shape. She was afraid to wash it.
Yeah, she's been maintained. It's been a couple of years since she's been here. That's Chrissy or Christy.
Let me reload
We'll
this.
pull off this cover. We'll pull off this cover. We'll pull off that cover in a little bit. Probably needs an air cleaner. First thing we want to do while we're pulling off stuff is I want to get in here and take a look at what the wheels look like. She says it basically
Everything
is
was
running-
good.
I don't know. I didn't.
Had just a
check.
chewed
We
belt.
don't care.
I don't know if I show it. It's somewhere around here. Look at it. It made a mess. Let's just skip through a couple of things real quick. And I want to get to the premiere. Because I want to be done in an hour, if I can. Yep. See, here's more of the horror of the carburetor issues. Oh, my God. What a horror. This thing, it almost killed the motor, too. He almost seized it. He basically, it got gas washed so bad that the motor wouldn't even turn over anymore. That was bad. All right, here, let me come back. There we go. Let's see. All right, I shouldn't be echoing. Yeah, I just like this channel here. So it should be okay. I shouldn't be echoing. Robert said, he goes, I got aftermarket carburetor for the 5 horsepower Briggs and Stratton engine on the limb chipper and made it run rich till the original one was fixed. Yeah. As Johnny Bravo, evening Johnny. He says, evening Jets. Gents, just got in from feeding my grand deer. Oh, nice. They were in the backyard waiting. Nice. Dilly, Brett says. Nice. Yeah, I just went over the Scots, and I went over Chrissy's mower, and I went over some Time Master, and I went over a little bit of Turf Master. Just some stuff that I've been up to. You know. Very busy. Ridiculously busy. But that's good. So I want to get to the premiere because, like I said, I want to try to stay within the 1 hour. I really would like to just do a 1 hour show, maybe an hour and a half on the outside, but an hour is good. Let's switch over to Big Mike and the new acquisition.
Check this out, fellas. I can't believe he did this.
Another one.
He went and got this thing.
More junk.
More junk. From, where was it, Mamaroneck, New York?
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, just a gorgeous place.
Gorgeous.
A surgeon had this. But we'll get into all of it. I just want a quick shot of what's here. This badge here says January 11th, 1910. Now, it could be a patent date. Made in USA. I don't know what brand it is. It says Star, but I don't know if that's a subsidiary or what model exactly it is. The guy was a surgeon. We'll get all this. Seneca Falls. Nice.
Upstate New York.
Yeah, this is all us up here in the North one. We used to make everything for almost the entire world.
Yeah, pretty much.
In those days. Right, when we had talent. All the steel
coming back now.
Yep, steel's coming back. Things have come back a little bit. But look at all this. We'll get it all out. It's very heavy. I'm just trying. I got to take a painkiller just to look at this right now because my back is already sore.
I've been in like 4 hours.
Oh, I'm exhausted
Yep,
now.
I know you're going to need some.
Totally.
There's a lot here. I'm not sure what this might be the tool holder, or I'm not sure. Anyway, we'll get it out and we'll sort through it over time. There's a lot there.
Oh no, this was just a pipe. That's a regular pipe vise that I think he just had laying there. He was like, yeah, just take it.
I'm so glad because I was telling you that I want to take that big piece of steel back there, that steel frame, and I want to mount things to it, right? And to my work table over there that I want to modify. So this all fits right in. All right, let's get this thing out of here. All right, fellas. Mike and I got it together. This is the back end. We'll get closer looks at it in a bit. We're going to fire it up.
Fire it up.
Fire it up. Fire it up. But we got the motor assembly on. We did put some lube.
Hopefully it doesn't go on fire.
Ways and areas that fit together, we cleaned, quickly, but cleaned it and put some lube on before we assemble it. This isn't really tight, but that is. I don't want to drive bolts down into surfaces that are 100% clean. So we kind of have it to where it basically moves. And let's see if we flip it around this way. Well, let's not say the word flip. We'll just see if we can just move it around this way.
Look at you.
And Mike, put some screws in the bottom of these car wheels. Let's see, let me put that screen up so you can kind of see.
Just a few zippy screws.
Yeah, just for now. I'm going to bolt it in better. We're just concerned that when we start this thing up with the torque of everything, we don't want it to flip because it could definitely break itself.
I know, right, Nate? Nice.
That's funny.
It's a nice new old toy. Yeah.
So far,
I love old stuff like
she's
this.
A shot.
I told
So
Mike,
far, it seems to be fine.
I just wet my underwear.
Do we see anything really
When he told me, he's like, open up the garage, get ready, I'm going to get it.
Little screws in that.
Well, I don't know if they are.
That's broken there.
Yeah, we might be getting a
That's four-sided.
Yeah. So, this is a 4-jaw truck, and we don't have the key for either truck. But yeah, we noticed that the shoulders are broken. So I can get a rebuild kit for that. I should be able to get that. We also have the 3-jaw truck, which we'll see when I lay out later. We have all of that.
There are some miscellaneous parts.
Yeah. Now, let me just check in here before we started. So the lead screw works. I put a cotter pin in here for now. There was no pin and a nut. So we're in neutral.
It's like 1910, but it could be that's the patent. We're not sure yet.
Cross slide. God bless.
Thank you.
And we think we got everything else going good. It is all assembled and, for the most part, tight. But not, like I said, not over tight. We got, Mike gave me some whey oil. No, it's more rail oil. It's like whey oil, but similar. And my tranny fluid mixed with gasoline. And we just kind of went over everything and wiped down what we could. Let's give it a start.
Make sure that block isn't on on.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's on or off. The block right there.
Right.
What does it say? Can you read it?
I don't know.
We plug it in and it would just take off.
My glasses. Is that like a piece of rubber in it? Yeah, there's a piece of rubber sandwiched in there. It says on.
Oh, great.
Absolutely,
All
Brad.
right, leave that there for a second. This is gonna come flying off. This we could put somewhere.
It's,
All right, let's plug
it's just
it
such a
in.
nice, cool
The
old
Seneca
thing.
Falls.
Seneca Falls. So
Yeah.
what does it say? What does it say on this star? What's the brand? Do you know?
Oh, it said Star Manufacturing, Seneca Falls.
Let me put my glove on just in case I need to grab it. In case sparks don't fly.
Yeah, Seneca Falls, Star.
Yeah. Seneca Falls. Avoid sparks and electrocution. Yeah, those wires are frayed down there.
Definitely needs a new wire.
Yeah. Let's see.
Oh, you got it plugged in?
I need a lot of
No,
things.
it went on fire. Good.
Johnny.
Not on fire yet. All right, smoke test.
Smooth.
Smooth. All right, so we have, it's loose, but it's rolling. So we just have to tighten this up.
That's that black.
That
handle
black
on it.
handle down there. So we'll figure that out.
This.
That one there. So what do you do? Push it forward?
I don't know which way it went.
Try that way and just see what happens. I'm not sure what it does. Well, all right, so this belt's staying on, and that one's staying on. So the guy,
Kinda.
he had belts made, but a lot of it was all apart, laying in buckets. So what we'll do is we're gonna see if we can tighten this up and get this to spin this next. It feels like it wants to spin for sure. So there's nothing like I can tell you is wrong with it. I got oil in these bearings. This we kind of lubed as best we could. That's the reverser and neutral. We're back in a bit. All right, quick closer look from the back side. I'll turn this little light on low. Going high. It looks pretty good in here. So this is bolted on, but it's missing a few bolts. And this looks like the adjuster lever. So, and this is not riding right. So this belt walked off as well. So that needs to be adjusted. And it's not coming back far enough. I suspect, like there's more adjustment here that we can do, but there's really not a lot of adjustment here. So the idea was get some of the rest of the bolts in, fill the holes, and when you throw this lever, see on this cam action here, it should push this assembly backwards a little bit more, and it's not. And it could also have some slop in it too. Like this bolt is loose, and it's also wobbly. I don't think it's the right size. So the next step, Mike just left because he's got stuff to do, but he gave me a hand putting all this together. And so a real big shout out to him on that. Make this tighter. See if I can get more adjustment out of this. I don't want to have another belt made up, but it's close. It's very close. It's starting, like it's a little tighter now. We were noodling around with it, but it won't spin. It won't spin against resistance. So I should be able to map that out. But everything is spinning good here. Everything is moving. We got this moving, all right? So we have travel now. It's in neutral. So I don't want to, clamp this down completely. It's snug. Because you just want to make sure that everything is moving right. Because, everything's got to be cleaned really good. Like this is kind of moving. We just got some, penetrant lube on it, my tranny sauce, but it needs to be, gone over. Here's the tool post. This won't open up much more than that because it's stuck. All right. Here's this thing on the end here. We found that some of the tools for it. Got that kind of cleaned up. So that's all ready to go. That's kind of like a live center. I think somebody kind of messed with it. Old school. And I have another chuck over here. So I'll probably mount the 3-jaw on because it's more useful. I don't know what the swing is center to center on this. It's wide. And we got one of these.
So that's important. We got a whole bunch of collets and stuff. No tools. He didn't want to give me the tools for some reason. I don't know why. But we can get those, and I can get a nice tool holder for it later on. I got that. There's our steady rest. You know, it's old school, but it will work. This is the steady rest where you just sort of polish these ends up and get everything set up right. Some boring tools, a few other things. Not sure what this came off of. This might be something that we need. There's a few more collets and stuff in there. Then there's all the gears for the end. Now, I don't know if I have I think I don't really have the gear chart per se. So I don't know what combination they would be and what they would do. They would go here. So if you want to adjust the speed, I mean, if you're not making threads, it really doesn't matter as long as you get a gear combination on here that works and the travel is working for you and you're happy with the travel. If you're going to be making threads, I mean, there is a chart here, but I don't know. I think, you know, get a tachometer, one of those ones where you can put a piece of tape or something, do some math, run the speeds, see what it is. You might get close enough to run a thread. You'd have to noodle with it. You'd have to practice with it. But yeah, this is all in good shape. This is working good. So we got that. It's pretty much all here. When I get a chance, maybe tomorrow or whenever, in between, I'll noodle with this setup here, and I'll see if we can get the belts to ride straight and tight. And then I guess at some point, I'll have to get the tool. We'll turn that around. I'm going to leave it on there for now, but at some point we'll grab some. I got to buy some tool bits. I could get the more modern tool post. Not wrong with that. It's not very big. It's very wide, so you could do a big piece. I think 3/4 pipe is what you could put through here, no problem. We were putting some pipe through that. I didn't measure it, but I think it's 3/4. So it's not a really big lathe. It's more of like a hobbyist small machine lathe. But for doing most stuff that you would want to do, like for example, I was showing them, if you wanted to make that, for example, on the end, or if you needed something like this, or I wanted to make a bushing for in there, and if I want to turn something to make an adapter bushing so I could mount different things to that, I could do that. You know, things like that. And then another neat little thing is, I showed this before, I got this, he just kind of threw that in there. I actually need a pipe vise. So that's going to be mounted to a big frame that I have outside. That's going to be coming in here at some point. And I left all this kind of loose for now so that I could spin it and lube it. Everything is moving. We're using some of that rail oil that he gave me for elevators. You know, for now, just to kind of wipe things down. And again, my transmission sauce mix. So, I don't know, I'm pretty happy. Like, this is a nice machine to fool around with. And eventually I can get a VFO and a variable frequency drive. Is it a VRO, rather? And we'll put that on another time. But I want to get this working first. There's like really no reason why that won't work. Once that's working, we could play with gears here, because it seemed to be all there. It's just dirty now. All right, I'll see you guys in a bit.
It was much dirtier, much dirtier than that when we picked it up. Let me see what you guys are saying. Let's go to the split screen. Hold on. Let me peel off the chat. It was very dirty, very dirty. The guy wanted to use it as a wood lathe. I'm like, no, you really can't. It's not set up for it. I don't think he realized that, but I guess at some point he did. Split screens, turn you on. Let's see what you guys are doing. Here we go. I'm pretty close to right where I need to be. Let's see, dilly. Darwin's out there keeping watch. Over the deer. John. Brett says he uploaded a shop video. Yeah, I saw that I have stuff like that too. That's like 30 years old, with the halogens on it though. Made us this nice little new old toy. Yeah, totally. What year's the lathe? We're not sure. I mean, I really haven't had time. The nameplate screws are there, but I guess he took the nameplate off. I don't understand why people do stuff like that. Really nice guy, by the way. It could be, it says 1910, so that could be patent. I also just saw on the side there in the video that it was number 10 is I guess the number of the lathe. I wonder if that has anything corresponding to anything that we would need to know, but I will look it up when I have time. We just got it like this afternoon. I spoke to the guy yesterday briefly. Really nice guy. He's German. He lives upstate. He's got a gigantic property, a 4-story house loaded with antiques. And yeah, he's a spinal surgeon and I think a neural surgeon. And he was just in Chicago and he just got back. He's in his probably mid to late 80s. So he says, I've lost interest in it and I've lost the stamina to deal with it. He didn't know much about it. He bought it in the 90s. So it's been sitting in his basement for a long time. We're not sure. I'm not sure about what the width is, but I measured just basic quick center to center and it looks like it clears 5.5. So center of the collet, I can't think right now. I'm really tired. Of the 4-jaw truck, right in the spindle center to like the nearest obstruction. So we have a good 5 inches, 5.5, something like that. They might list it as a 6, but I don't know. I'm not sure. And it's got a long center to center. You can sport. Not to mention, you can stick if you're doing pipe and stuff. You can stick it through the side. So there's a lot of capability there. I don't know if it's a brush motor. It does have it looks like a start cap on it. Really cool. Bravo goes, man, I would love to have that thing. I know, right? It's so nice. We spent, a couple of hours kind of sort of cleaning it up. Just a wire brush, the couple of things I spun on my wire wheel there in the shop. And I didn't even use any Scotch-Brite. It really wasn't that bad. I'm not looking to make it mint. I just wanted to make sure that any surface that we were mounting to something else was clean enough and that there was some oil on the threads and on the surfaces, and then we could bolt it together. And some of it's not, it's snug tight, but it's not all, really, really tight. Like it's not torqued down or anything. I don't even know what the spec would be. I would probably just go to whatever the bolt size is and use a torque setting like that. We'll cross that bridge. It was all in boxes, so since Mike and his son had taken it apart and whatever was there, the object was to kind of put it together, clean it up a little bit, lube it up a little bit, get a few things moving, put it back together, see what's there, make sure we have everything, look to see if anything's broken or missing. And there was just a few little details we had to do. It was just like, okay, I think this goes here. Oh, here it is in the box, That's the real goal, right, for right now. Brett goes, you may have to rock, paper, scissors with Arch for it. Yeah, right now you'll have to do a lot more than that. It's not going to happen. That's it. Brett goes, hello, Brett and Mater and Johnny. Here's Big Mike. I know I am so. Oh, look, Big Mike goes, oh, wow. Oh, my God. Seneca Falls Star 10 lathe. Yeah. Chuck adapter plate, part 1 of 2. He sent me a YouTube video. Oh, I got to watch this later. I got to find... Later on, after the show, I literally just got done. Lathe, check, adapter plate. Oh, my God. Yeah, I can barely speak right now. I'm really tired. Because then after we got that together, I took a quick break, grabbed some food, and went out and started working on the property. So, and it's just been constant, like bang, bang, bang. So big shout out, Mike. Thanks, Mike. It's just so cool. I've been wanting something like this for so long. And like I said to him, even if I got like a more precision lathe in the future, I would still want this. And there would still be things that you would do on this lathe that maybe, you have a setup somewhat different. But, the new modern lathes are expensive. And if you're going to get something older but bigger, you're over 800, $1,000, 1,500, $2,000. Nice thing about some of the ones that I see sort of on the island is that they're sitting on top of a big cabinet with all the tools and chucks and everything in it. And, sometimes people just want to get rid of it. It's a big, heavy thing to have around, right? So we kind of got it set up on those wheels for now. I'm so happy. Like, I noodled around with it after I got done working on the property today. At some point, I just got too tired. Oh, wow, he's got another one, part 1, part 2. He goes, just jumping in, fellas. He's just saying hi. He's probably busy doing stuff, too, so he's saying hi to everybody. Robert goes, hey, Robert, I saw you have a new shop light vids up. Yeah, I got to do my light over here in the dark corner. And, of course, I'm going to need lights and a setup for this thing. Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk about that maybe next week. I wanted to talk a bit about, you guys with your lights and stuff and also how it affects YouTube, right? What the advantages are of having, like, high light versus a low light. And I'll grab next week, if I'm on, but if not the week after. But I'll grab just a couple of shots from Brett's video because you could see he's got some lower lights, like a lot of us did, would do. And it's perfect for a human being. But there's this one shot when he looks back from he's over by the garage door and he looks back at his work table. And all those lower lights, they're all in the shop and there's nothing but glare. And you can't have that for YouTube. So raising things up and getting them a little higher and then using something like what Brett built, although I wouldn't use a sodium. But something like what Brett built, what I have very similar. I used mic stands. I like the way Brett mounted his on that pole. And I like those clamp locks, and his goes up really high. Mine's on, I had mic stands around, so I threw a brake rotor down, and I think I threw one of those concrete weights, weightlifting weights, whatever, on another one. I built the music out, but mine's halogen. But holy crap, those things get hot, and they use a lot of power, so all of that stuff does. But, yeah, good to have, I'll be using mine again soon. Because I don't have quite enough light out in the garage, and I'm going to be setting up shop in the garage soon. So temporarily, I'm going to be using the one that I made. I think I have one that I like. It's on a small little cradle, and you can shove it underneath like a car or something. Perfect, because you can flood the entire area. Very nice. Yeah, 50 watts, yeah. Yeah, because it's not just that it's bright, any bulb light is nice because it doesn't really need a diffuser. It just diffuses light on its own, whereas these LEDs and a lot of this other stuff, even fluorescents, like they don't, because the tubes, LEDs and fluorescents don't cast light well. Bulb lights do, incandescent and sodium, but the sodium's the wrong color. I love my sodiums. I know how to tweak it out of the videos now. I changed the color temp within the editor a little bit, get some of the red out, right? But that's good for your eyes, actually. It's good for your eyes. It's good for your skin. It's just better light to work under than this white fake light. I mean, the camera likes white. Bravo goes, get you an AXA or possibly BXA tool post holder. Nice, yeah. Oh, piston style, yeah. He goes, I like the lamppost type, but the AXA is way more convenient. Yup. Takes being anal retentive to use the L-PAMP post style. I got you. Yeah, I'll pick up something just to get started. I'll probably go over to Vivor and pick up something cheap just to get started. There's a lot to do with this machine. It really has to come back apart and everything kind of be polished and checked and cleaned better. And I need a spot for it. And I have 2 areas that I'm looking at, but there's shit there already. So it's a lot to do, I got a lot on my plate. Robert goes, I looked up a frosted high-pressure sodium bulb for your light, Brett. Oh, is that right? He's just going to leave it as is, Robert. Yeah, you don't really need to do anything to it. It's those aren't really good for spots. They just aren't. If you can get, yours you can put up pretty high, so that'll help, but it's the wrong color for YouTube. That's the problem. It's a difference between YouTube and cameras. YouTube cameras and our eyes. Very different. I'm going to leave mine up in the ceiling, and I'm going to add that one light that I've been talking about. I got to do that real soon because it's going to get hot as hell up there going up into this tall ceiling. And I got to get my ceiling fans down, clean them. And if one is not working, I don't know why. And if it is burned out, I have other ceiling fans I can morph up there. And that needs to get done before I really do anything else or really get deep into the lathe or anything like that. I've got to get that done. Just get it out of the way. Then it's not dark over there. And then I have ceiling fans for summer. Got to have them. I can't go another year without them. So that's coming up next. But in the meantime, I'll noodle around with the lathe and a few other things. You know, have some fun, take a break, do a few other things. Let's see, what time are we at here? Yeah, I'm really shot. I'm definitely shot right now. See, we get 10 people, 9 to 10 people hanging out. That's nice. We got 7 likes. Very nice. And, 53 minutes. Good. So we got like another 7 minutes or so to chill and hang out. And it could be like right on the hour mark, right? That's awesome. Because I started it on time, like 5 minutes early, and just run the intro thing. Gives people a chance to check stuff out. I've got some pizza to finish eating. And I got a cannoli, fellas. I have a cannoli for a little while. I'm going to be able to do that. Because my shop lighting is 5,000. What is it? How is it 5,000? Oh, 5,000 Kelvin. Yeah. But something like that. I can't read it, fellas. I can't. Even with my glasses on right now. But the new high bay lights I'm looking at for over the benches are the same. Yeah, that's all you need. 4.7, 4 something, 5,000. You don't really need much. That's plenty. It's about the color range cameras like. And our eyes can tolerate it. It's just shit light. You know, LEDs are crap. They got too much blue light in them. Same thing with all of this, right? I'm a big tech. That's why I don't really want to get into it tonight. But I'm a big tech head. And it's not healthy. There's really nothing in nature that is really blue other than the sky. And that's to basically get us going and set our circadian rhythm. And that you can use blue light to heal burn wounds and other wounds. They do use that. My daughter's friend that has the shop in town, she uses some blue light therapy. But we're looking at it all the time with these stupid screens. And they did it deliberately because it makes you suggestive. It makes your brain suggestive to things, which goes along with all the advertising. Buy now and save, all this nonsense it's not good for us. When I go to bed at night, there's no tech in my room, not even a cell phone. Just a fan or a heater or the air conditioner, whatever's necessary. That's it. I don't want any tech other than some stray radiation coming around from cell phone towers and electrical wiring in the house. Like, just get away from it, I love tech, but I got to get away from it. I won't allow it in my room. You got to get away from this shit, Remember, I'm in it every day. Daylight starts at around 65, yeah. Yeah. Robert says, the one thing is when you want to paint your shop, the light will be much brighter. Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's dirty in here. Everything is dirty. But I put a nice, like a blue battleship gray-ish on the walls. They're all, the cheapest plywood that I could get my hands on back in the day. Back in the day, it was like $10 a sheet, maybe $13 when it went up. Not like now. Hey, Brett says, he goes, I sleep with the fan and the TV on low volume. Yeah, turn that fucking TV off. Get rid of it. Turn that off. It's pumping out more nonsense. And it messes with your brain. You just want quiet or white noise, and then TVs and all this other nonsense. Put the phone in another room. Put the TV in another room. You want to watch TV? Go to a TV room and watch it, where your computer is and stuff. All day long, I see these people. I was watching a video the other day. There's a guy on Cold War Motors. What's his name? Dan or whatever. He just set up a really big garage. But every time the camera turns to him, he's doing something on his phone. Like, bro, what are you doing on your phone? Either you're doing a YouTube video or you're working on your car, your friend's over helping you. Why is your phone in your hand every time the camera turns? It's like, it's constant. You know, it's the heck with this thing. I don't even carry it with me. You know, I think one day I was talking to, what's his name from like Vintage Small Equipment or whatever his name is. And he was sending me all this stuff. He's like, why don't you join our group? And I'm like, I have no way of doing that. This phone can't handle it. Okay. It just can't. I've tried it. It won't do it. It's too old. And I'm not setting it up on my computer because my cameras are not always connected to my computer. And we were talking about, he's like, oh, I can't go anywhere without my phone. It's always on me. I'm like, oh, no, that's bad. That's not good. But he's young, you know. He's young. Brett says, I can't sleep in total silence. Yes, you can. You can. You just don't want to try long enough before your brain gets used to it. I know when you ever go camping and you'd hear all the insects and it freaks you out at first, you give it a week, all right? You'll be fine, all right? You're just used to it. I know. I changed, I had this like air purifier and it kind of died and I fixed it up. It's just like I think it was Home Light or I forget what brand it was. I'm thinking Home Light, but it's not. Honeywell, maybe. And it made a nice sound, and it did clean the air in the room. And I liked the sound. But it kept dying on me. The motor kept locking up, and oh, jeez. Finally, it broke. So I put a fan on for just a little bit of white noise. And at first, I was like, oh, I can't sleep. It's not the right noise. Oh, my God. You give it a couple of nights. Believe me, if you're tired enough, usually I'm so tired like today, like tonight, after all this work that I've been doing and cranking out, I'll lay my head down and it might be 5, 10, maybe 15 minutes. And the next thing I know, it's like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I got to get up and go take a leak. And then I go take a leak and I come back to bed. And a minute later, the next thing I know, it's like 7 o'clock in the morning. And I got to take another leak, right? Because I won't wake up till like 8:30. Mike was laughing today because he's like, wakey, wakey, open up the doors, I'm coming. And he said to his son, he's like, that fucker's probably not even awake yet. He sleeps till like noon. I'm like, no, I can't sleep till noon. That doesn't happen. Diabetes and back issues will never let me sleep till noon. No, it just wakes me up. Pain wakes me up. Discomfort and weird blood sugar conditions. Yeah. You know, welcome to my world, right? But it wakes me up. At least I wake up. That's all I care about. You know, the good Lord says, if the good Lord says, get up and start your day, that's what I do, right? And happily I do it. Now, the rest, I fall right asleep. Once in a while I'll have insomnia. Everybody does. Maybe you have too much coffee or I smoke too many cigarettes on a live show or I don't know, I get wound up from the day or maybe I'm in a little bit more pain than usual or I'm working on something because I dream and if I'm like working on a project, when I go to bed, I'm still working on it up in the brain, right? And in the middle of the night, I'm coming up with ideas. So I don't stop. I like that, though. It's fun. So some of those nights, I may not sleep great, you know, because like, oh, wait, I wish I felt a little bit better and I was rested. I'm going to go back out in the shop. Yeah, I can't wait to get out here. I can't wait to fool around with the lathe a little bit tomorrow. I'll try to go to bed at a reasonable time tonight. I'll get up, chill. It's Sunday, so I don't want to make too much noise. Generally, I don't like to make any noise on Sunday because, you know, I think it should be respect. But, you know, the rest of the world doesn't respect anything anymore. But I'll kind of slow down if I have a lot to do. And I'll clean up in here a little bit more. And then I'll go out and I'll do a little bit of work on the yard just to kind of catch up. Because Monday, I want to work on that Briggs motor. That's going to be a fun video to make. And I promised him. And so I hit him up last week. And I said, I think his name is Ryan. I'm like, you're going to be up Monday. So I've got everything done. Contractor Mike left last night around 10. Right? Picked up a machine. He's like, should we start it? I'm like, well, not really. You're not supposed to be here this late, Mike. I'm like, just kind of rev it, you know, don't rev it up. Right? But he's happy. Did see Bravo says, he goes, hey, Brett goes, wait. Brett goes, I refuse. Brett goes, I refuse to leave my comfort zone. Well, we're older now. And like I often say, we should, you know, there's a time in your life, which is now for most of us, where we really should be prima donnas. And the rest of the world, if they don't accept that, tough. Right? If you can get to our age, then you can be a prima donna too. All right, that's the way I see it. And I don't like to say it like that because some of us don't make it, and it's not their fault. But, you know, if you can, right, we should be revered by society like the way the Chinese used to be long ago. Now they just want them all dead. It's horrible. The world is so messed up, right? Yeah, by the way, it's like what Brett was saying. This is the stuff that back in the day, and that even that surgeon guy, like I was telling him, I was telling him about my channel and what we do, and I said these cheap Chinese carburetors are making me nuts. They're making my customer nuts. They're making my friends nuts. I said I'm going to be doing all kinds of videos. I said back in the day, the original equipment carburetor, somebody made that, and there was a couple of videos where I showed like original equipment carburetor from back in the day. Even just that, somebody was making it. People were working even just in that industry, small equipment, and they could afford a house and a new car or a used car, and they put the food on the table, and maybe they worked some overtime, and maybe if they did really well, they could send a kid or two to school. And he's laughing. He goes, yeah, exactly. The thing is that with this old machine, right, it's been around. It was made by people like us back in the day. We literally dug the earth out of the ground and put it into a foundry and made steel and cast this thing and made all of these beautiful parts, and somebody had to make it all nice and precise. Then it went to who knows how many people that lovingly made things with it and did stuff with it, and it passed hands, and it wound up in this German dude's hands, right, all the way upstate. And then Big Mike went all the way up there for me and grabbed it, and now I have it. And who knows how much longer I live. Hopefully it won't ever get to the curb and it can be passed forward. How much stuff that we get to play with these days and work with is ever going to have a legacy like that? Ever, right? I mean, that black mower that I showed earlier, what is that, maybe 2000? That is kind of along those lines. And look at how beautiful it is. These new lawnmowers that I constantly complain about, yeah, you'd be lucky if you could get the damn thing out of the showroom and use it for a season. Like that lady that I showed you like last week. The video that I did where she tried to do it too. It's not even a year old and it's not even working. Oh my God. I know I'm ranting, but you know, I'm allowed. I have prima donna. Bravo goes, Darwin wakes me up 4:35 every morning. That's his snuggle time. Really? Because Miss Kitty now, right, she comes upstairs and she tries to wake us up because she needs to be fed. And she's also feeding her kids, but she wants to be fed. So I hear her in the hallway, meow, meow, meow. I don't do anything about it because it's not my responsibility to feed the cat. It's no my up. It's not really my cat. And I told the girls, because now there's 3 kittens, I told the girls, I said, you're going to have a hard time splitting them up. I'm telling you right now. Oh, that's what's starting to happen. And they're all like, oh, this one's so cute. They have like blue eyes and stuff. Like, good luck. That's why I don't really touch them, because I don't want to get too attached. I just think it's just so wrong. I know people say that they don't really, you know, at some point they detach from their kittens and stuff. This morning we took them out for a little while, let them roll around the living room. And Wisa, right, Molly, you know, the mom, she was chasing a couple of them around and swatting them and getting mad at them. I think it was just because she was annoyed because now they were let loose and she had to go manage them. And they weren't trapped in the room in the glass bake oven that they're in right now. Yeah, it's weird. It's funny watching them do what they do. It is really neat. Brett goes, Roxy greets me every morning when I come downstairs. We have our breakfast together. Yeah. Mm-hmm. At lunch, usually Marley will hear me and she'll come in and she'll say hi. And she wants her ears rubbed and stuff. Brett goes, I'll be 58 in August. Oh, you're a youngin'. Right, Johnny? And he goes, those products were made with American pride. Yeah, they were made real with American pride. I'm so honored to have it. I'm not kidding. You know, I'm like honored to have it. And like I said, I'll take it apart and you'll see it'll be painted one day and everything. I'll make some videos on it as I go. I just wanted to do something I'm excited, and I wanted to do something it's a first look. It really is everyone's, including myself. You guys haven't seen much more of it than I have. It's just that me and Mike have been dirtying up rags and spraying lubricant and cleaner over everything and noodling around with it. I was telling Mike, he's like, I don't really know anything about lathes. I said, Mike, take it apart and put it together again with me, right? And I'll show you. It's actually pretty simple. It's very intuitive. It's like a very organic kind of tool. Some of the math and everything is a little bit, different, but once you get used to it. So when I get it kind of going, I'll put together a little tool order, a small order. I don't have much money, so I can't be buying too many things, but, I'll get a couple of pieces and we'll make chips. Because I told contractor Mike, because I mentioned to you guys, I showed it a while back, but the Suki standards that he has, the belt tensioner for the deck belt, it swings on it, on a stud, and it's got a bushing in it. It's just a bracket with a pulley on the end and a spring. And they're both of the ones that he bought, they're missing belts, and the brackets go like this, and the pulley goes like that, and it's all over the place, and it wears the springs break, the belts shear and fly off, and something is not right back here where the stud comes up. It's about, I don't know, 3/4 stud, maybe 5/8, very short, comes up off the deck. It looks like it's welded to the deck, and then that bracket has a bushing in it, like a bronze bushing, like an oil light bushing in it. And I guess they didn't make it right. I saw a replacement in a box he gave me that came with the machines, and I told him if I can get a lathe together, I can fix that if you're not in a rush. So he took them back. He was getting flustered and frustrated. He's like, they shouldn't be there. I'm like, no, they really shouldn't be here. I'm not working on them. You don't want me to work on them. You don't have the money for me to work on them. I don't even know if I can work on them. Take them back. But I told him, I said, either go find a place with a lathe. Good luck finding a small engine shop or something with a lathe, or sell them or hold on to them. And if I can score a lathe, I can make these machines nice, because they're basically nice machines. They're very durable. They actually are contracted, like 30-inch. They're small. They're nice for some of our smaller properties, and it's built well. But I think they screwed up. I think that we're all like that. And I said to him, the only other thing you could do, or when I get a chance, is I'll look up the model numbers and stuff and see if there's a revision for that part. Maybe at some point enough people complained and maybe they fixed it. I don't know. But we haven't had time to fool with that. See, these products were made. Preach it, brother. Yeah, totally. Yeah, absolutely. What color are the cats? Send me some pics. Yeah, I haven't really been taking any. You know what? Next week, I'll just do a quickie, because the show's not about cats. I don't know. People don't want to see. The problem is even just me talking about a lathe, there are going to be so many people like, I don't want to watch that. Let me see another lawnmower. It's just so weird, like YouTube and stuff. One guy will say something to me. I did a video that's on my top 10. It was like a year or two ago on a Honda. Going over to Honda. It's an HRR or something, right? Steel body. And I did the carburetor and some other stuff. One guy will go, I can see you take your time and you have pride in your work. The other guy will go, too much talking. I don't have the time for you to. And another guy, this video sucks. Another guy goes, oh, great video. You totally saved me, bro. Jeez. Noise. Pain in my head. It's so weird. You talk too much. Of course I talk too much. That's me. I think it was Watch West Work. I don't know if Ken's not there. He put a video out a couple of weeks ago. I think it was like a brake job and some other stuff. He didn't say anything. I didn't like it. I stopped watching it. First of all, I've already know brake jobs. Like the back of my hand. So I don't care about brake jobs. But I like Wes. And I like the stuff he says. I can agree I talk too much. But if you want to watch one of those quiet videos, by the way, that's the other problem, fellas, with doing how-tos, right? You got to give me what I need to know and inject it into my brain artificially in less than 5 minutes, or I'm suing you. Yeah, go get your money back, bro. You didn't pay anything for it. You know, hangout videos may not be as popular unless you're musty, but they're more fun to do. And people like you guys, like, you know, some of these people, they don't even want to watch your video. Another guy said to me, I did a snapper video, right? Where the snapper's standing upright, and I'm working on the gear train and everything, and it's stuck, and I couldn't get it to move. And I realized a couple of minutes later that, oh, I have the brake on. The brake's all the way up there, and it's on my lift table, so I have to, you know, I was kneeling down. I got to get up, climb up there, and I'm like, all right, let's pull the brake off. The guy writes in, you know, if you pulled the brake off, that would have moved for you. I don't know if you did or not. You mean you watched the video up to the point where just before I realized I have to turn the brake off and climb up there and somehow push it to get the brake off because it was really, really tight. And what did you do? What did you do? Watch up to that point, you're fast forwarding and just haphazardly seeing pieces of the video, and then you comment like I'm thinking to myself, like, you just bagged yourself. You outed yourself, bro. You totally outed yourself. So weird. It's so weird. It's kind of fun weird, though, sometimes. So we'll cover the cat soon. They're all different colors. One of them is like striped and stuff, and one is black, and one is more of a grayish brown like Mama. And Mama's like a beautiful bluish gray kind of thing. She's very pretty. Very sweet cat. Brett goes, he goes, I got a few old hand dryers made in the early 50s. All, yeah, I know, you've shown them. All porcelain coated over cast iron. I love that. Under the brand name Sani Dry. I remember them. Made in Chicago, hardware foundry. I know. Back when Chicago was real. Now it's some Marxist hellhole. Oh, jeez. Oh, my God. And it's still a beautiful state. And, you know, Illinois and everything. And the city is still nice in certain areas. I mean, it's just gorgeous. And just it was a productive place. They just, what do you want? They turn it into a freaking communist Marxist hellhole. That's what they're trying to do to it. Well, of course, right? Ruin a great place. Yeah, absolutely. That's what they do. Let's go find a great place in the country and let's ruin it. All right, yeah, and we'll start spewing all of our Marxist communist doctrine, and we'll get it in the schools. We'll teach everybody how to cut their penises off. And, oh, Jesus, it's so weird. More weird shit. He goes, yeah, just tell them you give them their money back. Yeah, right. He goes, I love long form videos with plenty of narration. Yup. Yeah, that's where art shines. Thanks, bro. Maybe he knows for me, verbal explanation helps work for folks like myself. Yup. Yeah, Roxy is the orange tabbies. I don't have, these are not tabbies. Somebody said that it might be like one of those blue Russian or something. I don't know. I don't know cats. Bravo goes, Dorman is jet black. Yeah, he'll sit in the corner with his eyes closed in the shadow and I can't see him. Yup. That's who I think impregnated my cat, because there's a big black cat. And when we were outside last night, me and contractor Mike, he was doing the prowl, right? 1 minute you'll see him over here. Then the next minute you see him over there. Next minute he's across the street. Like, you don't see the in-between. He just disappears. Let's see if Big Mike says. Yep, big black cat. Doesn't do anything wrong. He just likes to go and kill things, murder things. I can't wait to see these videos later on. I'm going to sit down with my cannoli. because they made things, Big Mike says, they made things to last back in the day until someone realized they could sell more if they broke. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, they got all twisted. And then they all got into this crazy stuff. I mean, I can actually tell you the lineup of everything, like where everything came from, how they started to get involved in all the sales pitches and all that crap. It was, I can't think of these people's names right now, so I'm not going to get into it because I'm too tired. But yeah, I've looked into it for years, and they ruined it. They ruined everything by doing this nonsense. It used to just be you made a damn good product, and then you for a reasonable price, and you sold it. And if somebody made a better product, you tried to figure out what the hell what you need to do next, to make an even better product, right? That's how we wound up with so much great shit. And then we gave it to the Chinese, and then they stole the technology. Jeez, more crazy shit. Yeah. So when we look back on some of the better equipment, that Wright Stander, I mean, still a great company. Really nice machine. Very heavy duty. He was excited about getting that. I'm like, you have to wait. That's a game changer. I'm like, Mike, You know, he's 40, but he's still kind of young. I'm like, I don't want to get into your business, but the concept of game changer, I don't think you understand, right? You have a crew. You have men you run. I don't do that. You're a leader of men. Pull yourself together, okay? I got to make payroll. Yeah, you got to make payroll. And either you or they have managed to wreck all of your fucking machines, and you're coming to me, and I can't get all of this done, and you're going broke. You need to get the core of your operation based on the core of your good machines running. Keep them running. Keep them on the field, on the play field, so to speak, on the field of dreams, the field of grass. Then, when you're stable and all of that, because you have an electrical issue, I have never played with one of those. There's no extra parts. I've got extra parts. You've been dumping your extra Time Masters and Turf Masters all over the place. I just showed a little bit of that. I have parts. I know what I'm doing with these. I'm comfortable. Let me do my effing job, please. Let me set you back to the core. Then, when I have a free moment and I'm not exhausted and you're not yelling at me, and he would text me so much. I told Mike today, these long texts, I shouldn't have done this, and I shouldn't. I'm like, Mike, what's done is done. I shouldn't. I'm like, stop, you're repeating yourself. I should have. I'm like, oh my God, you're reminding me of my ex-wife. That's why I'm divorced. And finally I said, no, I'm not reading any more of your fucking texts. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. Blowing up my phone like an ex-girlfriend. Oh God, it's so weird. It's just so weird. Stop. You know, oh, it's uncomfortable even to think about it. Once all that is in place, right, then I had a nice day the other day. Wasn't hot out, wasn't really raining. I'm like, I can put my thinking cap on, figure out what's wrong with it, figure out where the leak is coming from, evaluate the machine, see if it's any good. These things are very expensive to buy, very expensive to fix, and hard to fix. I was showing them, I think I put them all away. Did I? I might, no, I probably didn't. So I wanted to check, because he had a leak. I wanted to check his plumbing. Oh, let's just grab a wrench. Oh, wait, I need more wrenches. Oh, that doesn't fit. Oh, I need another wrench, really big, couple of big ones too. And I'm like, Mike, and even these wrenches, this is what I use to check your plumbing. And they didn't all fit because if I have to replace a pump, I said to him, I'm not supposed to use open-end wrenches. I'm supposed to use flare nut wrenches because they're on very tight and you do not want to damage the plumbing. You don't want to damage the fittings. And they're assembled so close to one another that even if I have to use an open-end wrench, like this one, the meat on the edges is too thick. I can't get them in between some of the, the one adjacent to it. Or there's a frame member in the way. I have to be custom ground. I need to buy some extra wrenches. I'm not grinding these. We'll buy donor wrenches. I'll buy donor wrenches in the sizes I need, and I will custom grind them. He's like, really? I'm like, bro, you think this is just easy being a mechanic? He says to me, I was telling Big Mike before, he says, I just got to do something. I got to move forward. I just got to do something. Well, if you're going to keep doing it wrong and you think that's just doing something and moving forward, we're talking about ideas for T-shirts, right? Like what Mike and I came on, don't be the dumbest person in the room, right? Stuff like that. Like that doesn't move you forward. I'm not a part swapper. I'm a mechanic. You're trying to be a part swapper. That's how we start. But you're trying to swap on parts. You don't even know what you're looking at. So you're estimating my time and you're estimating the job and you don't even know what you're doing. Leave me to my job, right? He doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. And of course he doesn't, because he's running a business and that's not his job. So sometimes you just have to let the mechanic do what he's going to do and expect it's not going to be super cheap. It may not be super expensive. What are you going to do? You got to teach him a little bit so that he understands what the hell you're doing. And he looked at all of that, and then I showed him a flare wrench. I'm like, and these aren't cheap. And I said, that pump could be $700. And I can't break all the fittings putting it in. He went, oh, shit. I said, honestly, you're probably better off just buying a pump for it. And then we should drain the system because you don't want any dirt in there, put some new fluid in, and we got to change that filter. And that's a hydraulic filter. You have to plan for that. I said, do you want me to just disable the machine right now before your game changer ever came to life? Right? So what do you mean, game changer? Yeah, it could be a game changer, all right, in the worst way. So he doesn't understand this, so he gets mad. And then, I have to keep him at bay until I can get him to think more clear. So it's running good, right? I said, let it leak. It's not that bad. Get your use out of the season. It should work fine this season. It's got a good Cowie twin on it. Beautiful engine. Seems like it's running better now. I got it running pretty good. I didn't have to do a lot to this machine. Fix the electrical issue. I said, just use it. And we'll reevaluate. If you really like it and it's still running good and it's still leaking, give it to me over the winter. And be prepared to spend over $1,000. They're expensive. Let me catch up with you guys. Yeah, they're expensive. Especially when they get older. So, Bravo goes, Darwin is jet black. Yeah, he's sitting in the corner. Brett goes, if they have a marking in the forehead that looks like a capital M, they are tabbies. That mark is a telltale characteristic for tabby. Roxy, Minnie, and Sam have had those markings. Yeah, I've never seen that. I don't think I've ever noticed anything like that. And for the record, all orange cats are Sime or some form of tabby, and 80% of them are male. So if you have a female orange cat, it's rare. Really? Yeah, I don't know much about cats at all. So good fun today. Good fun all week. Very stressful at some point, though. It's like, customers. It's hard. Always hard dealing with customers, especially when there's a lot of money involved. Every now and then it's fun, you have a customer that understands. Like this guy Ryan that I got to get this motor done for. He's like one of us. He knows a lot of cool stuff, right? We were talking about changing out jets and stuff like that. Like he's like right there. So, and he's like 40, I think he said. Maybe late 30s. He's like a nice guy. It's good to see. We got to get the youngins involved in mechanics and doing stuff and projects and everything. Get them out of their parents' basement playing video games, coloring their hair and putting tattoos on. And the guys putting their freaking hair up in a bun. All right, let's see. Where are we? All right, it's getting late. Let's see. Brett says, and tomorrow is mowing day. And this week will be the Toro's turn. Yeah, I've also been using the new, I showed you guys a little about it. It's the new to me, but yet old Craftsman high wheel with the Takumi engine that I refurbed. And it's got that oil leak. I got to replace the seal on the bottom of the dipstick tube. And eventually I'll get the electric start working, but the dipstick tube is first. But it runs really, really good. Oh, and I got to change the handle too. I'm sick of the handle. It's got that shifter style, where you pull the bail back, and instead of having a second bail underneath to control the front wheel drive, it's got the shifter. And I hate it. It's just horrible. You can't sneak up on anything. The wheels just keep spinning. They'll dig into the ground. It's good if you're doing a long straight run, but for me, cutting in and moving around bushes and everything, it's just a disaster. It's a nightmare. So some point, maybe tomorrow or this week, I'll go shopping out in the garden, in the boneyard in the back, and see if I have an alternate handle for it. And and cable, and I'll swap it out. I'll sell this one because the cable is good. All that is excellent. Cable's like mint. So all of that is excellent. I just don't like it. I like to do this. I kind of like, usually what I'll do is to keep the motor running, I just put a piece of Velcro around that bail. And then what I'll do is for this ground speed control, I just thumb it, right, until I'm ready to grip it. So if I want to sneak up on something, plus depending upon if you have the cable adjusted right, depending upon how far you move the bail, is how fast it goes. So if you just want to sneak up on something and pull back, sneak up, pull back, sneak up, pull back, right, you could do that. This thing, All right, I see you guys later. Thanks for stopping in. Where are we at? Let me just do a time check. Yeah, 1 hour and 26. So we wound up hitting the hour and 30 mark, right? thanks for stopping in. And again, big shout out to Contractor Mike, because, you know, at the end of the day, right, I made some money. We both did well, and he's back in the mow business again. And so big shout out to him. And, of course, a really, really super big shout out to Big Mike for helping me out, and also helping out the channel, because it will be on the channel, and hopefully more stuff like that will be out there in the future. I'll see you guys later. Thanks to all you guys for stopping in tonight and checking out my stuff on Archer's Garage. So I'll see you guys soon, hopefully next week.